It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchende. Thanks a lot for joining us. It's been a very, very busy week for Nigeria, politics-wise. There's so much that's happened in the political space. I feel like every other day there's a new presidential aspirant who declares their intentions to run for office. So yeah, that's been a lot in the news. Kaduna State, of course, is still being talked about. We still don't have all the answers that we need with regards to the incidents that happened with the Abuja-Kaduna rail situation. Still waiting for the government to give us some answers. Hopefully we get that sooner rather than later. Of course, security or the lack of it is still being talked about a lot. Many parts of the country are on the edge of their seats, especially as politics gets heated up. People are not sure what that means for the polity as a whole, but everybody's keeping their fingers crossed and hoping that we'll get through this season safely without any major incidents. But one thing that we can't avoid is the price of things. The world economy is going bonkers, for want of a better word, and Nigeria seems to be right at the forefront of it, charging ahead with crazy inflation numbers, and just the price of goods and services continues to skyrocket. And I mean, that has a spillover effect on everything. But we're going to be talking about a lot today about business, how it feels to run a business in Nigeria today, and what are the realities for customers as well, who have to, patronize businesses at a time when you almost cannot predict what you would face when you go to the market or when you try to, get a service provided for you. I have here with me the President, Aircraft and Owners Pilots Association of Nigeria, Dr. Nwoba Alexander. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on the program.
Yes, there's, like I said, a lot that needs to be talked about. Maybe we should just start with your core area of specialization, because, like we mentioned earlier, Kaduna State was in the news a lot. So transportation has been in the hot seat a lot in Nigeria recently. There was an attack on airports. People don't feel very safe anymore traveling by road. The trains are seemingly under attack. So the airspace still, for a lot of people, might have been the one place to run to, but the prices have gone crazy. I know a lot of people seem to tie it to what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, as well as the after effects of COVID and inflation and all of that. What's going on there? How soon do you think we might start seeing some sort of respite, if any at all?
The world is truly, and once again I said thank you for inviting me, the world is truly challenged on many fronts. We've just come out of 2 years of lockdowns, COVID economy, etc. And we're just coming to that on a global scale. It's affected everything, prices. Then we have this war in Ukraine, and so by extension, Ukraine and Russia being major suppliers of oil and petroleum products, and that's having an impact in Europe. And obviously here, since we have oil, but we don't produce the derivatives of that product, so we end up importing them and then paying subsidies for them. So everyone is stretched, everywhere is stretched, and we have a real challenge in our hands. The problem with transportation is that it requires fuel, and of course future transportation looks at technologies like electricity, which even if it were the situation as it was today, how prepared are we as an economy? So transportation has been challenged, security has been a challenge, security has been a long-term challenge. So when you combine the factors of security, you combine the high inflation rate as a result of high oil prices affect transportation. Transportation affects the price at which goods get from the markets to your table as well. So all of these things are coming together to make life truly, truly unbearable. And so businesses are hedging. They've hedged for a long time. Individuals need to learn how to hedge in terms of how to survive in this new kind of economy. So will airfares come down? It's difficult because airfare has inputs. Fuel is used to be 40% of the cost of air transportation. Now it's about 60% because of these hikes, doubling or tripling of prices in many instances. So those numbers are not coming down. The related cost, maintenance, dollar is up as well, almost 50%. And so when you add the exchange rate, which is what the airlines buy their services, which is either training or maintenance or any of those things, all of these things add together and increase the prices. So economists don't see any reduction in costs in the near term. We just have to bear up, and we have to prioritize our lives in this era. If you look at, normally when you say airfares rise, you say people will run to land transportation. But we know the challenge. Fortunately, there was a rail service between Kaduna and Abuja. But the security challenge creates a bigger problem for consumers, because obviously if you won't go by train if you think it's going to get blown up or you're going to get kidnapped. And then road transport had a problem. That's why people went to rail. So we really we're assaulted at all fronts as a society. And really, it starts with dealing with the security challenge. If we can deal with that security challenge, then we open intermodal transportation routes for consumers, so people will have a choice. Right now, we have no choice, really. Yeah. That's the problem. And without choice, you know how economics works. Without choice, prices go up across the board.
That's what I was going to come to, because, you know, a lot of Nigerians believe in theories, and I don't want to use conspiracy theories as a blanket, theory. But, you know, there's these conversations like, well, because people now feel, or because airline operators believe that they are the last option, they seem to be having a ball with this. A lot of Nigerians don't understand why I have to pay over 100,000 naira to go to Enugu and come back. You know, for them, it's a little too much. Yes. Well, why you explain that every other thing seems to be going up? They're like, well, airlines, after all, they're making money anyways. You know, explain to the average Nigerian why this is important and why this was the last resort for business owners. Because you deal directly with people. Correct. And when you provide a service that deals directly with people, it's quite touchy sometimes, isn't it?
So let's take one mode of transportation, your car. It seems affordable because the government subsidizes the price of petrol. What does that actually mean? It means that the government buys a product at price A, say 300 naira, and sells it to you for 150 naira. It seems almost like a gift, but the problem is that the differential that would have gone in paying the real price of the product affects what the government will spend on education, on roads, and all of those things. So people want to transfer that to aviation and say, because it's cheaper to travel by bus, because fuel costs are lower, air transportation should be cheaper. But that's not the reality. In many cases now, even as a last option, it's not available. One thing consumers need to be aware is that they always have a choice in transportation. You have an airline called Green Africa that offers a lower fare, typically around 25 to 27,000 naira to many of their destinations. But it comes with a caveat, and people keep falling for that. They don't allow you to carry a lot of bags. So if you're a type of consumer, we see that abroad, if the type of consumer that is going on a business trip or not carrying a lot of bags, which is not our typical type of Nigerian traveler, you can get a cheaper fare. And then you have the traditional, what you call the traditional airline operators that are benchmarked around 50,000 to 100,000, depending on how quickly you book. So the key is, if you can plan ahead, which is also a problem in our society. If you can plan ahead, you can get lower fares. But if you wait till the last minute, you pay those higher fares, because what airlines do is they do airline economics. If we sell these tickets ahead, it gives us guarantees as to how many people will be carrying on the trip. But if we wait till the tail end, then we've got to maximize, because we don't know what those numbers would look like. Yeah. And so if you buy ahead, you can buy cheaper. If you wait till the last minute, you pay. But why are we paying these high prices? Because all of the inputs have increased. Airlines buy most of their services in dollars. The aircraft is bought in dollars. Its leasing, if that's the case, is bought in dollars. The training of the crew is abroad, it's not done here. The maintenance of the aircraft is done abroad. So the result is that most of the inputs are in dollars. Even the fuel that has increased in price is typically bought in dollars, just converted to the naira rate. So most of the inputs are done in dollars. Most of its revenue is done in naira. Now, the airline therefore receives that money in naira, tries to convert. The central bank says we don't have available dollars. So they reach into what we have termed the secondary market, and it has somehow become official in some sense, whereas in reality it's not supposed to exist. But they reach into that market to get dollars when they can and pay for these very high costs. That cost, any business, whether it's airline business or truck business or whatever business, even the guy that pushes your cart at the market must transfer his cost to his customers. And that's what's happening in the airline industry, that the airlines are transferring these huge and unpredictable costs. Because, you know, another thing you have to look at as a business is not just what you paid for something yesterday, but the replacement cost. And that's where many business people seem to get it wrong. So if you know you bought something for 5 naira and you're going to replace it at 7 naira, you have to capture that in the sale of the price. So we're ending up paying all these high prices for air travel, We will pay them in buses very soon because buses would have to figure in their security costs. So it is these costs that get transferred, and that's what's creating these very high airfares, which consumers unfortunately have to bear.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a metaphor for what, we see in Nigeria, where nothing ever comes down if it goes up with Nigeria, regardless of what it is, whether
Yes,
it's
it
food, whether it's, services provided or whatever, which is the fear for a lot of people. So I guess the question now is, Ukraine and Russia hopefully are going to end the war one day.
Yes.
Things might go back to normal with regards to the supply chain of gas and fuel. The COVID economy will most likely recover one day. Inflation will drop. Does that mean these things will still never come down if all of these factors, which we are now saying is the cause for all of these prices going crazy, if these factors go out of the way, are we still going to be in this situation, is what you're saying?
Economics says that if the price of the fuel comes down, then obviously that savings will be passed to the airlines and they will be able to adjust their fares downwards. But the overriding is the dollar rate. And so until we find a way until we figure out a way to make the dollar rate come down, the dollar has never come down. That's why those that look at history will remember when they used to fly to London for 100 naira. Not dollars, 100 naira, then 1,000 naira, then 10,000 naira, and now business class is close to 5 million naira. So it's reflective of the exchange rate. There will be slight adjustments. Prices will come. I mean, prices were 650. And then jet fuel prices were 650, it's up to 500. Airfares didn't come down. So it's marginal. But the exchange rate, the naira still went up. So it's the balancing of these forces that have to be fixed within our economy that will bring airfares down if they'll come down. But tomato prices haven't come down. So what's going to
ask you that. So that's the one question customers always ask. I know it's kind of away from your core area, but you're a businessman, so you understand how economics works.
Right.
People always wonder, why am I buying onions? And they're telling me dollar went up if I'm going to buy onions, which was gotten from Jos or wherever it is up north.
Right.
How does that factor in with things that we produce domestically, especially like food?
Right.
Why does the dollar affect the price of Gary?
Well, two factors. I'm not an economist, but I work in the investment space as well as the aviation space. Right. Two factors play into that. Number one, the tomato has to be brought from Jos to Lagos with fuel, with a car bought in dollars and fuel really bought in dollars but subsidized. That's one factor. The other factor is the economic reality of life. The fact that you grow tomatoes in Jos does not mean that we don't care about the price of tomatoes in Italy. For example, how much shrimp do we see on the table? Not very much, because at sea, the fisherman looks and says, Nigerians will buy shrimp for 500 naira per kilo, but Europeans will buy it for $50 per kilo. And so all the shrimp goes to Europe. That affects the price. If you take Gary, for example, what does Gary have to do with dollars? The reality is, when somebody grows cassava, he has two choices. The Chinese are in the market buying up all the cassava to make chemical products for the international market, which competes with the cassava being consumed to make Gary. So whether we like it or not, everything plays around the dollar and that's how economics works.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Because I understood that, but people have always wondered why. Why are you telling me that the dollar has affected, the price of things? But it's a it's a vicious cycle.
Yes, it is.
I guess is what I'll call it. And as a business person who's done business in Nigeria for quite a while, what sort of path do you see for us coming out of what is really, really tough times for doing business in Nigeria, both for business owners and customers?
First, we have to fix our politics. If we fix our politics and put the right leaders in place, we'll fix our problems. The biggest challenge we have as a country and an economy is that we don't produce anything. We import everything. We import toothpick, and there's wood everywhere. We import most products. So if we can find a way, like the Chinese have done, to create productivity within our economy, it will increase what we call our gross domestic product, the sum of all the goods we produce in our economy, which will combat the demand for dollars, essentially. So the fact is, we've got to fix our politics to fix our security situation. We've got to fix our politics to fix our economic situation. So the only way out is when we introduce productivity into our economy. If we consume and consume and consume, look, why should we even be talking about petrol prices or jet fuel prices in this era when we're one of the largest producers of of oil out of the ground, simply because the refineries don't work. And that's about fixing our politics. So if our refineries work, we would not be importing these products. Yes, there would be external demand for the product. Dangote is building a refinery now, which will produce one of the largest in the world. It will produce a lot of the products we consume. But the real question you must ask yourself is, if Dangote produces 1 liter of fuel, Europeans buy it for €5, and Nigerians want to buy it for 160 naira, 65 naira per liter. Is Dangote a businessman or not? He hasn't built this refinery as a government program, so the government will end up again buying that product from Dangote at the Italian price or the European price and giving it to us cheaper, which means that the money, like I started off, that would go to education, that would go to security, that would go to everything, will be spent. So the economy does not improve. We've got to start to internalize our problems, solving them from within, solving our economic problems. Until we do that, we're simply just going out. We call it a vicious cycle, but it's addressable. We have to figure out how to address that.
And finally, just for a small business owner in Nigeria today, it's been very rough for a lot of people.
Yes, it has.
What do you tell them to, how do they navigate times like this? Because like I say, it might get even worse. Politics is literally taking over everything.
Right.
There's almost no attention paid now to the economy, as it were.
Yes.
What does a small business owner need to start focusing on in the next, short to medium term, to stay afloat?
I think one of the challenges we have with small businesses, that I work with them quite a bit, is separating what's practical from what's passion. And a lot of small business is driven from passion rather than practicality. And we have to start looking at practical things. And there are lots of opportunities. The world's greatest challenge going forward will be food. And yet, our agricultural land is significantly underutilized. We've got to focus on producing not just the ground-based agri products, but also creating a process to convert them to economic goods. Okay, so we grow cocoa and we export that, and we end up with 5% or 10% of the real value of the product, whereas chocolate would give us 70% of that product. Small businesses need to start thinking along those lines to process conversion. What are the real opportunities that the economy offers? Growing tomatoes is a good business, but then of course there's a tomato paste opportunity that extends there. But the first thing, the biggest challenge we have to face, there are lots of initiatives coming out of the central bank in terms of subsidies and all kinds of things. People need capital. All the greatest business ideas don't work without capital. So you have to find capital. But you've got to find and focus on practical things, considering what the new economy looks like.
Thank you very much for all your insight today. And we're all hoping for the best. And we hope that it's not such a long year for us. Thanks for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break now and come back. Please don't go away. Back. Yes, I have a special guest in the studio with me, someone who's a comedian, content creator, and has just continued to do amazing things in the online space. Your name was Nasty Black, but your real name is?
Emmanuel.
I would never have tagged you for an Emmanuel. So where the hell does Nasty Black come from? The name, Nasty Black.
I feel like the black has to do with my color,
Was it a nickname you had, or
no, just the black. The black is just like, I'm dark. So, but the nasty is, I'm just a young kid, just trying to get like a cool name. I'm not gonna lie, there's no extra.
There's
meaning.
no interesting story to it.
Just find a name, just Nasty Black. Oh yeah, it looks interesting.
When did this start for you?
Yeah, okay, way back in 2016. So I was doing it. So I saw Chris Clown.
Okay.
So he was doing that thing. So I was like, oh yeah. I know I'm this fun guy, but I never knew that we could actually do it in a video format. So,
were you funny already, or did you know you were funny?
I was like a class clown to be honest. So
okay.
I don't know, in every class back then in school, there's one guy that really trying to make everybody laugh. So then I'm like, okay, fine, I can actually put this thing in video. As in Chris Clown is giving us a hint that, we can actually also do this in video. So I started in 2017, started doing it. Or 2016, I was just joking, but 2017 I started giving them all and all.
What school were you in?
I was in, uni. I didn't go to full-time school because of my craft. I don't want to go to full-time. So I did South American University, like their program. I did that. Then I attended their class, but it's a part-time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, weekends. From Monday to Friday, I do my content, Saturday, Sunday.
So 2017, what happened? What started exactly? What was the first?
Okay, like what started was like me accepting that, okay, fine, I want to do it. You know, like there's some time, like the talent thing, you do it, let me do it once in a while. But 2017, I'm like, you know what, I love this thing, I'm going to go hard for it. So 2017, 2018, then 2018, that's when all my content went viral.
2018?
Yeah.
So that's when the blowing started.
No, so, you know, the social media space is kind of funny. You might go viral today.
Then nothing will happen again.
Then until another time. So that 2018 ending, so 2019 beginning. So like a content went viral. But before that content went viral, I said, God, after making this video, if it does not go viral, I'm quitting. I'm done. But deep down, I know you just talk. I love the content. I love the comedy thing. Whether it's bringing money or not, I just love doing it. So 2018, there was a video I showed that I had to take a video scene underwater. I couldn't afford the camera that could go underwater, but the iPhone 7 Plus could go underwater. So my friend I don't even have an iPhone there. So my friend gave me his phone. So after shooting, and I never knew that it has durations, how long you can stay underwater. So the phone got spoiled. So I had to go and fix phone. And after we start making money from skit, I'm fixing phone already. I'm like, God, this one does not blow, I'm not doing it again. But I posted it, and 3 days later, I started on Twitter. And they just commented, different people that commented. Like,
yeah. Well, at what point did you realize, or when did you start making money from this?
I think that was 2019. Yeah, 2019. The first time
you got paid.
I got paid. I'm like.
So it took you about 2 years to build.
Yeah. So I started going. I'm like, hey.
What was your first check?
It's not that big.
No, it's fine. What was it?
It's not that big. It's not that big. If you're honest, like I had like this income big.
How much? You don't pass now. You should be proud of it.
I collected 75K. I was feeling like the baddest nigga in my hood. I'm like, bro, I'll buy your house now. Don't talk to me now. 75K owner, come on now. You guys rate me now. I'm feeling like God. I'm feeling like God.
What was the lockdown period like for you? Because for a lot of creative people, it went either way. Some people used it and made a lot of money, got more creative. Some people went into a funk where it was just like they couldn't express themselves. What was it for you?
I would say, to be very honest here, as much as I didn't like the COVID thing, but I still have to give God the glory because it was like a breakthrough
for you. Also, it was a good time for you.
It's a good time for me because like people we are home, so like a whole lot of people like have time to like pay attention to. Oh, this is that black guy I've been seeing, but let me really calm down and watch his videos. So that's when you get like more comments, more views. You would see the statistics that. More video because you can see your analytics it was higher, like more time spent on your page, more profile visits, more engagement, more comments, and there's more companies are reaching out that let's do this because they couldn't do things outside, and the content space is really nice in the sense that you can create within your space. You don't need to go outside. Yeah. Some content quite good, like you can still do something in your space. You don't need much people sometimes.
So how much do you charge now?
No, I can't really say that.
What's the range? I asked this because, and it's going to lead me to my next couple of questions, because you know a lot of you content creators, especially you comedy guys, are under fire now online, and I'm using that very tamely.
No, the thing
for
is
the fact that you guys seem to be spending a lot of money on interesting things. You guys are buying a car every other day, you're moving into a new house every other day. So people are wondering, do these people actually make that much money?
To be very honest,
I feel like every day I open a blog, it's content creator moves into a house, content creator buys a new car. So it's confusing for a lot of people. Yeah, that's why I asked that. So
the thing is this here, I believe in every craft that people do, if you put energy into it and creativity and hard work into it, you will get paid. And yes, content is something that, what I feel like the audience still don't understand is they don't know that there are several streams of income in this thing. It could be an advert, brand deals, brand endorsement, monetization on YouTube and Facebook. So there are different ways these people are making money, and people don't even know this thing. So, for example, I believe very few people understand what YouTube can do to your life, what Facebook can do to your life. They just believe that, they're making money. They don't really study, like, how much do YouTube really pay these people? When you see, you understand that, these people are actually making money. I believe that everywhere else, into these crafts that is as big as people see them, they're making money. But I can't say the exact figure, but I believe everybody's
okay, so not you now. Is it possible for a content creator to make over 10 million naira a month?
You're really getting to me.
Yeah?
You're really getting to me.
I'm just asking.
I'm not saying anything. I just believe that they're making money. People that are buying those kind of cars and getting... So people are really making money.
You've bought cars as well?
Yeah, I bought a car.
You've moved into your house?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it means you're making that much money.
I didn't buy a house, I moved into a house.
Okay, you didn't buy the house.
No, I didn't buy the house.
Just moved into a house. Why did you cut your hair? It was one of the first things I wanted to ask you when you came in.
Oh yeah, so basically...
Because is that an interesting story? Because your hair has been part of your identity for a while.
Yeah, true. You know, like, to be honest, aside from me creating content with the hair, because I made a video with hair that had over like millions of views, because my a lot of people like, one, did he really cut his hair? Which made a lot of views for me. But I was tired. One day I just walked up to the mirror, I won't lie. I took scissors and started cutting my hair. So I didn't know why I just did it. One morning I just did it. Then I realized, oh, now I've messed up my hair, so let me cut the hair. But before I cut the hair, let me build a story, a content around this hair before I lose it. Everything about me is content. Every little opportunity I get is just I create something out of it.
Yeah. So you're not going it back, or this is your new identity?
Yeah, but coming on back, I want a full afro now. I don't want to, because it was a side cut before.
Oh, okay. Because I saw a theory, you know, social media always has very interesting conspiracy theories about the fact that there's a lot of EFCC harassment now and, you know, NDLEA, and they profile people with hair like that. Was that one of the reasons why you decided to take it off? Because you noticed a lot of celebrities have been attacked recently.
Yeah, me too, actually. But like,
exactly.
Well, that's not one of the reasons. That's the reason that I stated was what happened. But the EFCC thing, if that was the reason, I could have come here like a long time ago. Because there was a time in my life.
But you were harassed a lot.
I got slapped normally on the road, like back before I be that comedy guy. Oh, no verse. The first day I bought my car, like the police hit my car, they scratched my car with a gun. When they realized, oh, now bros, no verse, no scenario, I'm like, so what if it not be me? But that's not the hating show. But it's not Martin anyway. I mean, every Nigerian are used to it. Everybody's getting arrested, it's normal.
Why do you think content creators are associated a lot these days with cybercrime? There's a lot of people who just believe, there's a lot of people who believe you could do this content creation to cover up, you know, whatever it is you do on the background. Why do you think that's, because a lot of people believe it, especially because of how much money we see people chop now. Is that something, do you think maybe you need to be more open about, you know, the sort of funds that come in? Or is there really some truth to it, do you think?
Yeah. You know, like, I'll be very outspoken, yeah? I don't care whatever everybody thinks, they can think about. Still, I feel like they still deserve, so not like they totally deserve, but let me just do it. Let's use music and skit making, for example. Let's say an upcoming, I don't want to mention names in music, an upcoming musician with 500,000 followers could buy a car today. People be like, oh, congratulations. But me with the 2.5 million followers buys a car, they'll be like, Yahoo.
So here's the difference. For people for the artists, maybe they think, oh, he performs at shows, he gets paid, but we don't see you guys perform.
That's what I'm saying.
So people don't understand the revenue.
Back to back, they see us make adverts on pages. Back to back, they see us on YouTube.
But people don't, unlike the artists, we can assume what they get paid. We don't know. Like now, I've asked you, you'd not tell me.
But I explained how we make money.
You said how, you didn't say how much.
No, but artists don't even tell you how much they make.
Oh, but it's sort of an open secret in the industry.
But like, kind of know. You that are into the industry will have an idea. But let's say a normal person don't know how much embellishment that charges for a show. But people that are in the industry might have an idea because they're booking for events. But the audience don't know how much embellishment that charges or how much Rema charges. But they know that Rema is a big boy, Bella is a big boy. Yeah. Do you understand? So they don't tell them their price. So, but when comedy is like, everything about comedy is a joke. So do you understand? Even like when somebody says, I was harassed, you see the comment who say no be prank already. So they don't really see comedy as a thing. They see like something that just meant to make me laugh and nothing else should come after it.
Yeah.
So that's all. So
does it bother you though?
Yeah,
that perception.
It does, because it's affecting both the relationship and every part of it. Friend, like, do you understand? Every people see you. Somebody will see you and will be like, Afanasti, make that funny run for me. I'm like, so I should come down from my car, lock my car to do the funny run to me. I'm not saying, but like, don't, and when they see you, they'll be like, no, be so, you're supposed to know the front face, so you be funny guy, you, like, someone now would say, hey, funny guy, they'll beat you up. I'm like, bro, this comedy thing is really, so they just want you to be the clown every time.
Yeah.
So when they see clown making money, it doesn't make sense. Clown that is rich shouldn't be a thing. Artists have this look that, oh man, this guy.
Money day.
But for the comedian, where is he having money from? Where? How?
Fair enough. I want to ask you about something else that's, came into the news like in the last week or so, with the talk about the federal government trying to pass a bill to ban cross-dressing. And if you cross-dress, you get 6 months in jail. Now, content creators in the comedy space have been accused a lot, you know, of always appropriating, you know, women's sort of lifestyle and clothing and all of that to be funny. They always say, oh, is it that people cannot be funny if you don't wear women's clothes? A lot of you and your colleagues do it, you know, where you have to dress up like a woman and all of that. Why do you think it's fair? It's a fair judgment when they say you people appropriate, you know, women's lifestyle to be funny, and you can't be funny without, you know, pretending to be women. And why do you think that continues to happen? Do you think this bill, if it passes, will affect, you know, the industry as a whole? Plenty of questions.
I don't want to answer, but I'm going to say a little thing here. You know, this dressing of a thing, a man dressing like a woman, it's not just, it goes both ways, actually, because there's some ladies in the industry that put up jackets, do fake mustache, try to. But I feel like there is, you know, in the world of acting here, I can play the role of a madman, doesn't make me a madman. I can play the role of a doctor, doesn't actually make me a doctor. I can wear a lady's outfit, but I hope you understand what I was trying to do in that kind of, in the story I'm telling. Not like on a normal day, you see me on the road, I put on the lady's outfit. No. It's just like the nature of my job states that I am free to explore in different ways. Do you understand? In different way that, oh, this is what I'm trying to say, but this is not who I am. Because in my skits, I played the role of a robber. It doesn't make me an armed robber. I've done stealing, I've different kind of things. But speaking of the government aspect of it, trying to put, you know, like, it's the government. I am Nasty Black. I'm an individual. No matter, even if I say, no, I don't feel like it's not right or it's right, whatever the government says will stand. Even if I raise placards on the road and say I don't support it or I support it, the government will be like, sit your ass down, boy. Whatever I say stands. So I feel like I don't really have a say. But deep down, I know what I want.
Do you think it would affect the industry, though?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to affect the industry, to be honest, because a lot of people, like, you know, comedy is, I don't read English, like, people like me for different things. I know a lot of people that have built their fan base, dressing, being a cross-dresser. I know people that have built their fan base just dressing like me. So if you ban, just like when Twitter was banned, I know a lot of people that lost their job because they do advert on Twitter and different things. So imagine if you put a beauty or like a ban to it, it's going to affect someone. And I believe it must affect someone.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but like I said, if I stand against it or I support it, either ways, I don't have the final say. The government does. I mean, I live in their country. I know I'm a citizen, but I'm not the leader of this country.
Are you happy with where your career is right now?
Yeah, I am actually. I mean, this is not where I want to be now, but I mean, I'm making progress.
Where do you want to be? Are you thinking of going mainstream? Because comedy was always stand-up or sitcoms.
Yeah.
Now there's this online aspect to it, which a lot of people didn't take seriously for a long time. They didn't think you guys were comedians. I guess people are a little more accepting now. Is the goal to branch into these other ones? Are you planning to go mainstream acting at any point? What's the plan?
So basically, yeah, aside from the business part of it, which is as me as a person, I'm also trying to have like a business that doesn't have to do with entertainment also. Okay. You know, like I said, everyone's trying to build like more streams of income. Like this, I'm saying a lot of audience don't know about this. So tomorrow, if I buy a car, I'm like, hey, Yahoo boy. But let's keep that aside. So I'm trying to go into. I'm trying to produce my movie, comedy films. Yeah, I'm trying to be the best content creator that can ever come out of Africa. Also, then that's it.
Yeah.
Being the best content creator and also trying to produce comedy movies.
Do you think content creation is here to stay?
Yeah, it should. Yeah.
Do you think it's something you can do long term?
It is already, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, TikTok even made it worse now. Like, TikTok made you understand that, anybody can be creators.
Yeah.
Because the algorithm goes on TikTok, like, people can just become, and it's really amazing. I'm like, oh, there are more people, because I enjoy a lot of people content on TikTok. You know, like, TikTok has a different feel with Instagram, such as Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. Twitter has its own, every app has its own vibe, but on every app, you see their own celeb. Twitter will have their own celebrities on Twitter. On Instagram, they have their own celeb. On Facebook, there is their own boss. Here, YouTube have their own, there's YouTubers and here. So I'm happy that content creators is becoming a thing. There's more platform to express yourself. If you feel like Instagram doesn't favor you, TikTok will. If you feel like TikTok is too stressful, Twitter will. If not in favor, I think you need to go and see your pastor. It is a special thing.
Who are the people you look up to in your space, if you still do, or you did look up to?
Okay, yeah, I looked up to Chris Clark. I mean, he's one of the, like the pioneers of this industry, the skate making industry. So, big shout out to him. I knew I almost say it. Big shout out to him. I mean, even after then, he still came back to Nigeria. So he called me, Sydney, chill with us, and give us word of advice how the thing has been, shared his own experience, so we don't make the same mistake he did, and also teach us some certain things, how to become a better creator in this space. Yeah, and also big shout out to Shaggy, because sometimes, if I feel like, I don't tire, Shaggy will let you know that you won't tire. Ow! Shaggy just lets everyone know that, you don't need to rest until the bag is
constantly working.
Let's work. Yeah. You are still young. Why are you 70 years old? No, you're not 70, you're not 90. You are still under 20, so, I mean.
Have you had moments in your career that you look back on and I know a lot of people like to say they don't regret anything, but are there skits you've done or moments in your career you look back and you're like, yeah, maybe that was not a good one? Or you've learned from?
Oh, yes. I mean, it's the process. We're living in the process. And I'm glad that no matter how bad you are, no matter how stubborn you are, no, I'm right. You should really come down and look at what these people are saying. Out of 100%, I think there's a 50% truth in it. Yeah. Even if you have your own side of the story, but understand what they're saying and make yourself a better person. So you don't, these days, my manager was telling me that we were having a conversation way back to when you call somebody horrible. It's not a thing, but now it's a thing. She let me know that it's not like it was not a thing then. It was that attention was not given to it. So people are not opening up. But now you understand that horrible is now body shaming. So we are actually learning a lot, actually. So way back when we were younger, you just call somebody you are the one laughing, but you don't know that the person deep down is feeling. Yeah. Somebody calling somebody blackie, you too black. Some people, but you are the one laughing, you don't know how it's really affecting them. So she lets you know that they are being affected so that they don't open up to. But these days, everyone, hey, you don't call me that. Yeah. I'm offended by those things. And I'm glad that people are, unless you are feeling too stubborn, then they'll put you in your place. They'll put you in your place since you're feeling too stubborn.
Thank you very much, Nasty Black. Good luck with everything. I'm a huge fan.
Thank you so much.
Keep visiting your page and keep making that money. So off air, I know you will tell me how much you're collecting. Then I'll tell you who next week. We'll take a break. I'll be right back. Please don't go away. All right, welcome back. Like I said at the top of the show, political season is heavy upon us. We have presidential aspirants declaring every other day, but that's not all that's happening. Of course, there's elections across board, from state governors to state legislatures and all of that. So don't pay too much attention to the presidential one. But most importantly, we seem to be having a lot more conversations about aspirants as against we, the voters, what we're planning on doing. And I have here with me now Hawa Alabora, who is the former executive and founder of Pull Up Nigeria. Thanks for being here today. I want to talk PVCs because we can't talk about it enough. We seem to get very excited about candidates every day without asking the important questions of, are we even ready to vote? Do we even have our PVCs? What's the feedback you get from people? Do you think there's still the apathy that people think there is? Because I keep going back to Anambra State, the elections last year in Anambra. The turnout was abysmal. And people seem to believe that has set the tone for what to expect. What do you think?
Thank you so much, Ebuka, first of all, for having me. So for Pull Up Nigeria, we came about the movement and we said it is breaking the myth that our votes do not count as young Nigerians. Because our spirits are low, our spirits are weak. Every time I'm having a conversation or trying to encourage anyone on the importance of getting their PVC, the first question is, who are we even voting for? These people already know who is going to win in 2023. These people are this, these people are this. And there's so much negative energy that we begin to believe what is being said, and we just accept it that, in 2023 is whoever they want there that will be there. And when we look at 2019 election, Buhari my president actually won with 15.2 million votes, you know, and Atiku had 11 point something. Are we saying that Ebuka alone has 3 million followers? Davido has 20.3 million followers, you know? Are we saying that we cannot gather ourselves and unite and say we are going to take that extra pain, you know, that extra stress to say, I am going to get my PVC because that is my voice and that is what I'm going to use to make a difference as a Nigerian. Yeah. We go to spaces all the time. You hear people complaining, lamenting. I call them the lamentation clubs. And I say, you know, what is the solution? What is the way forward? How do we make a difference? And that's why we formed Pull Up Nigeria. We want to keep the momentum up. We're positive vibes, ginger team, moving like we need. Yeah, we need to like just keep this energy up and keep
You talked
pushing.
about the myth there about people believing that their votes don't count. But one other myth that seems to be holding people back is the belief that the PVC process is tedious. How do you get people to understand that it's not? Because the INEC has said this
so many times. Yeah, there's so many first-time voters, and I will be ashamed to say, but I am a first-time voter because I am just tired, and I know so many of us are tired. And the process is seamless. You just have to go to the INEC website, cvr.inec.com. You register there. You would there they will tell you the timing to come in, and all the polling centers and places that you know the biometrics are going on. You go for your biometrics as easy as ABC. When I went there for biometrics, it was a conducive atmosphere. I just chit-chat outside a bit with a few people. Before you know it was time for me to do my biometrics. And after your biometrics, they give you a temporary voter's card, and then you come and pick up your cards later. So I don't know why, you know, people think that it is so difficult, but that's why we're doing, that's why in Pull Up, we're doing holy grounds, where we're going to sort of be motivating people to say, it is not difficult, go and do it, you know. That's it. When we look at 2020 and NSAS and all that, we're trying to adopt something like that, but in a more conducive environment, in an environment where we are not stopping people from going to work, we are not stopping people from going to have their children, but we have an environment where we are activating and gingering ourselves and saying we are coming out in 2023. And those are the holy grounds that we are forming in at Pull Up Nigeria.
I have to echo that, because I know some people who also registered are saying, oh, but I've moved. And I would just say, go to the INEC website and just check. You know, this is actually easier than people think. Putting your number there, it will tell you what your status is generally and what you need to do if you need to do anything. So guys, it's actually not as complex as people make it out to be. I know the initial registration 7-8 years ago was quite tedious. So people still have that at the back of their minds.
What is actually complex is what is coming, you know. The registration.
Elections are elections. It's one day, people are going to stick out that day
and do
their best. But the build up to it is actually...
it's seamless. But, you know, that election, we need to keep up that ginger, that momentum. Like, if Ebuka is tweeting every day, and so many people that have so many followers, and if Ebuka joins with Hawa, who says, oh, let me... you know, if Ebuka joins Hawa, and I join the producers of this show, and I join the market woman and the driver that brought us here, you know, we can just form a bond, and we'll keep motivating ourselves towards the 2023 election. I keep telling people, I said, personally, I was building data because I wanted to reach people directly, you know, when I'm marketing any product. And right now, we have about 85 million direct phone numbers to Nigerians, right? And we say we're going to pull that into Pull Up Nigeria and keep reminding people, go and get your PVC. You know, let's vote for that one-eyed man in the blind man's place, whatever. But we need to just keep motivating ourselves as young Nigerians and stay together to make that difference.
And one of the biggest complaints that a lot of young people have is the conflicts with where they register and where they live. You know, a lot of people are students, for example. They're in school now when registration is going on. They don't have time to go back home. Some people work 9 to 5s or, like we say in Nigeria, 7 to 7, really. There's no time to go back home and register. Weekends, they can't register. So they're wondering how. And the INEC doesn't seem to still have a clear cut, you know, process of how this could work. You know, they always say, oh, it's better to register where you're going to vote. But, you know, that complexity, I don't know, is there a way out for people in situations like that?
We haven't found a way out because what I keep preaching is that this is a once in a 4-year time event. movement. So just you have to take a little inconvenience, you know, to make that change. So if you registered for example, some of my people registered in Kano and they're working in Abuja and they go all the way back to Kano, you know, to do that thing because that is what is right. So really, we just have to keep educating ourselves and just, you know, energizing ourselves towards it and saying we will go out of our way to make this happen. Yeah. That's the only way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest complaint you get from young people, though?
Yeah, the biggest complaint is you are Hawaii, you're wasting, you are too passionate. On top of this Nigeria, like, you know,
what's
people.
The point?
Yeah, what's the point? They say they already know who is going to win. You know, these people know who is going to be in 2023. There is no need. I have no voice. You know, they just get very depressed because of all the happenings, and there's no energy, you know, to push towards this 2023 elections. Yeah.
I know INEC has extended the registration, voter registration.
June.
So for those who are watching, I'll just give us a quick rundown of what, if you've never voted before, like you were a first-time voter, what do I need to do now?
If you have never voted, you just go on INEC website. It is, I think, cvr.inec.com. Just go and even if you just Google INEC registration, it will come out. When you go there, it's not more than 2 minutes, actually. You put in your name, your polling center, where you would, you know, like to go and do your biometrics. It is 2 minutes, right? You take a picture very quickly on a white background, you post it on the website, and it will give you like a list of places that, you know, that you can go. You can go to Yaba, you can go to Etiosa. There's so many places that they are doing biometrics enrollment, and you go, you know, you set an appointment 10 a.m., 9 a.m. It's better if you set 10 a.m., be there for 9 a.m. You know, it will just make everything easier. You go there, enroll your biometrics, easy, everything is conducive. You have your temporary voter's card, you pick up your cards later, and we're good to go. It is not hard. It is not hard at all, at all.
What about moving polling units? Is that complex? Do you know?
Moving polling units is not complex if you are sure of not changing another polling unit. Yeah. You know, because what we hear is that people are not sure. You know, I don't know if I'll be here or I'll be there when the time comes. But if you are sure, it is easy. You go on the website, you change polling units, and that is like ABC. But if you're not sure, then that's where it becomes difficult because you need to be sure where you want to vote when the time comes. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I mean, on a final note, I guess I'll just talk about young people participating in the political process itself. Like you say, people always say, who are we going to vote for anyways? Yes. But there seem to be a few young people who are trying to run, maybe not for president, but for office. Yeah. Do you think that could help in some way? I think more young people should participate. You know, more young people should run, and we should just, because when I came up with the idea of Pull Up Nigeria, I wanted young people that interact with each other and help each other in different areas and different sectors. So yes, more young people, and I will be supporting every young person, but we're not necessarily just young. You have to have the capacity, and you have to have a track record, you know. But more young people should come out. More young people should lend their voice. We should just be together, unity, and I think that will change. That will make a big difference. Thank you very much. How can we find Pull Up Nigeria?
You just www.pullupnigeria. You can register. You can start up a holy ground in your area. In Lagos, we're starting June 18th. Murion Kuala, we're going to be there. We have confirmed DJs like Consequence, Obi, Kentucky. It's a long list of actors that have agreed to be there, and we're just going to be motivating people to say, wait, you must come out in 2023. It's a motivation. It's a motivation movement, and we just keep the energy up until that time.
All the best. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Get your PVC.
Yes, you have
very,
to.
very easy. All right? Well, like I always say, you can follow the conversation on Twitter. Please use the hashtag Rubbin Minds when you send us a message. I'll see you next Sunday.